Every Rocket League player wants to be able to play at a high level, but getting to the higher levels of the game can take thousands and thousands of hours. So today, we'll be uncovering the secret to playing at a high level that will help you elevate your game regardless of what rank you are. You can help yourself play at a higher level by doing just one simple thing, and that is remaining calm as often as possible. If you ever find yourself getting a little panicky on the field, it can lead to a lot of issues. Things like ball chasing, rotating too fast, jumping when you don't need to, not trusting your own skills, and that often leads to losing games. By keeping a calm mindset, you can almost trick yourself into believing that you have everything under control, even if everything going on around you is absolutely crazy. And that's really the key. If you can keep yourself in control of the game, it will be much easier for you to respond to whatever situation that you find yourself in, compared to if you're just flying all over the field, chasing the ball everywhere it goes, and constantly putting yourself out of position. So with that being said, we're gonna take a look at two games here today. One where we played a bit panicky and were kind of frantic around the field, and a second where we maintained much more control over everything that was happening and played much calmer. And that will allow you to see the difference in the gameplay. This first replay that we're going to take a look at is going to be our frantic example. So what we're really going to be looking for here is just situations where we're ball chasing, moving too quickly around the field, and just not trusting ourselves or our teammate to make proper plays. So we're really going to be looking for anything that's putting us out of position or causing us to move around the field too frantically. Decent kickoff to start off, we do get bumped into the air, and then we backflip into our opponent's corner, which puts us really far out of position. And then if we look at that rotation there, we rotate really tight to the net, thinking that we might want to go for the ball very quickly, but it results in our opponent very easily chipping the ball around us, and us almost getting scored on. Messed up landing is going to give control of the ball back to our opponents. I like this play here, just making him do something, but then we just put ourselves out of the game by just flipping past the ball, which is an interesting choice. Maybe getting a little too close to this play here, but we do back off and position well to make a save on this shot. That's very good. Recognize the space on the ball, we take control of it. And now here's a bit of a bad play we make because we don't have a whole lot of boost going up for this ball, so great save. We have 60 boost when we land. We use all of it to go catch the ball pretty much. And then instead of trying to control this ball and just keep it close, we use all of our boost and just chuck the ball downfield, which then means that our opponents have free control. Maybe sticking around too long here, but we do get the challenge that allows us to maintain offensive pressure. Teammate gets a bit of a mistouch, but it's all good. Looking to possibly catch this ball, and then, yeah, that's a questionable decision overall, so some might wonder why we are trying to catch the ball on the corner when it's very clear we have space with this ball. Could just let it bounce, but instead of letting it bounce, we're going to try to make the awkward catch on the corner. It's going to result in the ball bouncing into the midfield, and now we're going to absolutely panic, because instead of just taking our time and getting behind this ball and trying to force out a 50-50, we're going to try to cross it in front of our own net to our teammate in front of two opponents. And as we can see, that goes absolutely fantastically for us. Why, what a great decision we've made there. Can pick up the boost here and go to the backboard. And even here, this is a little bit of ball chasing. Instead of just staying on the backboard where we could jump out to make a save, we drive down and give a wide open net with the flip reset. Could have stayed more side onto the goal and it would have given us a better chance. Maybe a little too laid back in this instance, and now we're going to dive in. And again, we're not paying attention to what's going on, because we could move up a little bit further here, but Shanny does have control, so we back off. That's fine. Shanny, though, very clearly is going to be back in control of this ball, so diving, not really our best option, and it costs us a third goal already in the first minute and a half. Wow, what a great game we are having here. We certainly have not had any issues in terms of what we've committed for. Opportunity on the ball here. Could have done a bit more with this, but instead we just chuck the ball away and give it right back to our opponents. Ball coming around. Expecting the clear, so we were playing patient. I like this patience that we have going here. That's not a good touch, though. Very close to our opponents, and we slam our nose into the wall, which just gives control back to them. Luckily, we can take a smooth rotation here and be in position to make a play. This is probably the best rotation we've had all game. Calmness with the ball here, very nice. You can see we almost beat both players, and that is a fantastic attempt of rotating out of defense. Control now for our opponents. We got bumped back into the midfield. Gotta work our way back down. Teammate does have the initial save. And now let's look at some more really bad positioning as we just, for absolutely no reason, even though teammate is clearly lined up right with the ball, hey, why give him space when we could absolutely crowd in on him and take the ball away? Absolutely fantastic decision from myself, I must say. And here we're going to chase the ball into the corner, and the ball is going to pinch back across, and we're going to give up a goal. So again, this is just rotating way too quickly as the ball is coming across. We think, oh yeah, we should go for this one really fast, except for the fact that our teammates beat, now we're beat, and now the net's open. So what a fantastic decision once again from ourselves in that instance, why I am so proud of us. Off the next kickoff, we have a chance for control here. Actually do a decent job of keeping the ball up. Trying to get a pass over, not going to quite work out, but I like the play there. Not panicking with the ball in the air, that's very good. Gonna rotate around, we rotate too tightly once again, and now we gotta go back out for this one. We do get a touch, maybe trying to get back to this, we do get the challenge at least, which is certainly better than just booming the ball away. Currently, we're starting to rotate around a little bit better, but now we're again caught in a really awkward position off of a bump. What the heck are we doing here? We're not really doing much of anything, just kind of panicking and circling around the ball, hoping to maybe find a position that we can play from, instead of just calmly rotating around to methodically put ourselves in a better situation. Avoiding the bump here, that's very good. Teammate gets the dunk. We're not going to be able to make a play on this. See what Shandy does. I like this slight delay of the challenge just to see if he's going to give the ball up, and in fact he did. Could have gone there again, and now we're chasing the ball again by turning around when we had already decided to go back. We can't really be going back on those initial decisions because it leads to us just being beat out by our opponents. So as you can kind of see through that game, it kind of had a lot of awkward positioning. We were often rotating too tightly, too close to the ball. We were diving at things when it was pretty obvious that our opponents had control, instead of trying to buy time to put our team in a better defensive position. It was just a lot of frantic run around the field, try to do as much as we can, and oftentimes it led to us being in really bad spots and giving up a lot of goals that we really shouldn't have. So now let's compare this bit of a frantic game to a much calmer game to see the difference and how it can impact your overall play. Off we go here with a much calmer game. What we're going to be looking for here is just smoothness in our rotations, getting to where we need to be when we need to be there, and an overall feeling of not beating ourselves. So let's see what we can see here in this one. Out the gates on the first kickoff, popping out to the side. Unfortunately, we do land on our teammate there, so a bit of a slow recovery. We're picking up pads there in our half to make sure we can defend the ball if need be. And right here we see our first very wide rotation, recognizing that we don't need to rush to the ball or to any point on the field. We can swing it nice and wide and then be in a spot where we need to make a play. Even here we see our opponent has control. We're just going to put ourselves side onto the ball and then be able to make a play on the goal line. Pop this one back out across, allow teammate to come forward for it, and we do get the clear. Gonna pick up a couple of boost pads here in our half as our teammate goes to work. We do recognize that we at least have a 50-50, if not a clean beat on our opponent there, so we go ahead and dive in for it. Same situation here, we recognize we have the clean beat on our opponent, so we can send the ball back around the corner. Ball going over to the opposite side is going to be more for my teammate than myself, so we'll wait back. Ball pops out from the opponents, but it is a free ball for us down the other end. Drive challenge there so that we don't dive out of the play, and then we can circle back and line ourselves perfectly up on the sidewall to get the clear out from the pass from our teammate. Again, a nice wide rotation here so we can get back to net, and then jump out to make a play when we actually do need to. Recognizing the space here, we're going to catch this ball and force out a 50-50 so we can continue to dictate how the play is going to go on our own terms. We really don't want to be letting our opponents do whatever they want, and so far we've done a very nice job of doing so. Can go up and challenge this ball, get a free touch. This is a bit of an awkward dive, but I don't necessarily mind it as it does apply pressure to our opponents, and there is very little threat in doing so. Recognizing this is a free ball, unfortunately it is a bit of a poor touch from us, and our teammate is now in a bit of a bad spot, but we can circle back and time ourselves up perfectly to get that clear out. Now again, letting the opponents have the touch, trying to control here. This is one pretty bad mistake, just trying to control the ball. I don't mind the idea of control in this instance, it's just we don't know exactly where our teammate is, so he might think that he has an opportunity on this ball. Instead, we catch it, and we get too heavy of a touch, so we can't actually get back to it. And then our teammate is right there, possibly thinking he was going to be able to pounce on this ball. And unfortunately, it is just a completely open net for our opponents. All good, though. First mistake pretty much we've made all game, and we have just under 3 minutes to go. So again, play patiently here, play the shot, and we get the clear out, no problem. Free ball here, but we don't have a lot of boost, so we're going to pop that downfield into an awkward spot, and then yoink our opponent's boost so they can't have it. Then we're going to calmly wait in the midfield to see what happens, waiting for the next touch, and we recognize some space. Trying to catch the ball, we do get bumped, but then use that momentum to flick the ball forward. Passing it out into the midfield and then threatening the bump does allow my teammate to slot the ball on home, and it works out absolutely flawlessly. Moving on, off the next kickoff, we do get boost stolen, teammates moving forward, so we're just going to rotate back. Calmly wait on the back line to see what Wilden's going to do here. The demo does come through, which means we can pick up this ball for free. Up into the air we go, let's see what we can do with it. We do get it kind of over the top of the last defender, but unfortunately do not have the boost to follow it up. Recognize a free touch here as we can pop it out behind Wilden and then continue to apply pressure forward. Not going to be able to do much with that ball, but we do continue to make the defense very awkward. We do get the corner boost stolen from us, so we're going to rotate back. Luckily, the mid boost is there. And again, we're going to wait calmly here to see what develops in this play. We can see that there is control. We're going to buy time for our teammate to get back. And now we have a free ball to play with because we forced our opponents to beat us instead of diving out of the play on our own accord. This is a free ball here, see what kind of catch we get. Not the best one, but we will take it into the air now and look to make a play. Over the top of the defense, very good. Our teammate did get demoed in the meantime while we were air dribbling there, so we're just going to try to buy time here for our teammate to get back in the play. Not really looking much for goal scoring opportunities there, just trying to be annoying. Same thing here, just trying to keep the ball awkward and out of the hands of our opponents. Opponents are going to have a free ball here, and we do have very little boost, so we're going to take the time, rotate a pad or two, and we're still in a spot to make a play on the ball. Unfortunately, we do then get bumped and then do not utilize our flip to recover properly, and that's going to result in another goal for our opponents. So we were in a good spot, it's just the fact that we then got bumped and we didn't respond to that bump appropriately that leads to another goal for our opponents on a completely open net. Under a minute to go, just down by 1. Teammate does get faked, and now we're in an awkward spot, and we're not positioning all that well in net. I like the patience here. We just don't back up into net far enough. If we're all the way back in net, we can make the save on the back post. It is a little hard to judge exactly where this shot is likely to go, because we are covering most of the net from where we are, but because we're not far enough back, we don't have that back post covered, and that is just a very nice shot from our opponents to secure the 2-goal lead with just 48 seconds to go. So now, this is the stage of the game where you would expect to see things get kind of frantic, because you're starting to think, okay, we need to go, we need to score as quickly as possible. But the really important thing in these moments is to continue to play a calm game. Because if you start to get too frantic, you will end up just giving your opponents more opportunities. It's okay to play faster, but you want to make sure you're still under control with the decisions you're making. In this instance, we pop the ball off the backboard, recognizing that our opponents are in an awkward spot, and it creates a shooting opportunity for our teammate that pulls us back within 1 goal with only 16 seconds to go. Get bumped off the next kickoff, we do lose out on boost, and now here's where we're going to see a really important play. We're not running for corner boost, we're just taking pads, and then we get a free shooting opportunity on our opponent's net, and we cash in on that and put the ball home. If instead of just rotating pads there, we had rushed out to go get boost so we could be better equipped to make a play, we would have missed that opportunity. And now we're going to make a good save off the backboard, again, calmly and confident in our own abilities. We can take that one out of the net. and it gets us into overtime. Teammate got the other corner moose, we'll take this one, and then calmly start to work our way upfield. There's no need to rush towards anything. We'll see what this guy does with the ball. He pops it up. We'll go up to challenge this one, avoid the bump, and pop the ball down. Allows our teammate to come in for the next challenge. We recognize a little bit of space here, so we're gonna work that ball around and take the challenge. And now teammate beats out the other opponent, and that is a game win for us in overtime. So if you look at this game as a whole, what you really see overall is just much more fluid movement around the field. We're not taking super tight turns. We're not putting ourselves too close to the ball. We're not putting ourselves out of position. We're not moving around the field too quickly. We're getting the spots on the field when we need to be there, and it's working out really well for us. It's also allowing us to maintain better control of the ball, because if we're not moving as quickly, it is easier to control the ball around the field. So what I'd recommend in your own games is really just focusing on keeping yourself calm. If you ever feel panicky or frantic, it normally means that you're about to make a lot of really bad decisions. Regardless of the situation you find yourself in, you always want to maintain a calm mindset so that you give yourself the best chance to effectively respond to what is happening on the field. I do hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, make sure you click that subscribe button right down below so you make sure you don't miss any future Rocket League content. Additionally, if you guys would like to be more involved in this community, please consider joining my Discord, link down in the description. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.